trap like on digital advertisement.
Hi, welcome to this brand new episode of the LeadSquared Podcast. Today I have a very distinguished guest in our studio, Mr. Ujjwal Singh, founding CEO of Infinity Learn, a group company of Sri Chaitanya Group, one of the leading institutions powering the JEE and NEET preparation. Thank you, Ujjwal, for joining us today.
Thank you, Prashant.
I know Ujjwal for last 4 or 5 years, and I think must say that one of the very humble and passionate, I would say, CEOs and entrepreneur I have seen in the education ecosystem. And so, first of all, congrats on building this business. And
Thank you.
despite whatever has happened in the tech ecosystem in the country, I think Infinity Learn business is thriving. So, I think first of all, would like to for our audience would like to learn about Sri Chaitanya Group and Infinity Learn, and what is the commonality, what's the distinction? If you can just share that, and then we can, go deeper into questions.
Thank you, Prashant, for hosting. It was just after COVID. We were having this discussion, and to say that how can we uh, build a digital transformation within Sri Chaitanya. And over the weeks of discussion, we reached a stage saying that while we are building a digital transformation, sustaining a digital transformation standalone may not be most economically viable thing. Why don't we start building a B2C company while we keep doing a digital transformation and build a B2C company at the same point in time? And that's when the birth of Infinity Learn happened. The parent company is Sri Chaitanya, which runs schools and PU colleges across different parts of the country. We're the largest education group from a standalone number of students servicing in the school system. So we serve almost 1,000 schools and 1 million learners. Is the easiest of the calculation. uh, and then birth of Infinity Learn happened. So it's a separate company altogether.
So how did you meet Sri Chaitanya Group? You were in Pearson, right?
Yeah.
And I think you worked largely in big companies. Have been, I think, you had a stint of your own in between.
True.
But Pearson, Tata Group, and Hughes, right? And so how did you
Reached
yeah.
a family business? It was just a conversation. I was in London those days, and just a conversation to say that how a large conglomerate is trying to, and I was doing a similar kind of a job of digital K-12 product lines, and so it was just a get to know, a conversation.
So maybe in context of Pearson, you would have met founders of
Sri Chaitanya.
and then this
And then over 3-6 months, this conversation pan out that if we want to do something like this, would you like to come over and do
I
it
see.
here? And I was itching to come back to India to say that it's a great role in Pearson. I learned a lot. I saw schooling system globally. I don't think I had so much of exposure before that. The kind of job and kind of schooling system I saw in Brazil, Argentina, all of LATAM, South Africa, Middle East, China, all of that, getting inside the school, interacting with, to see that how the systems work. But I think deep inside, my parents.
Yeah, I
run a
know. I
school.
mean,
So deep inside, there's an inherent desire to come back and do something. And here comes meeting of minds saying that yes, outcomes is one of the most important thing. And that's how over 6 months of conversation, I decided to let go a fancy MNC job to start this from scratch.
I see. And what was the genesis of this name, Infinity Learn? And one, just curious that when you imagine infinity, right? Different people imagine different way, right? What comes to your mind? I mean, for example, for me, the easiest way to imagine infinity is tan 90 degree, in mathematics, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I still that graph, so
True.
that's how I imagine, right? But how do you see, and what was was it like predefined name or was
No. We had coined the company's name is Rankuru Technology Solutions
Hmm.
Private Limited.
Hmm.
So we were not in a hurry to build a brand name for the external perspective. So we are 35, 40 people, and it's a very collective wisdom, I would call it.
Okay.
uh, Learning is something definitely we wanted,
Hmm.
because we want to reach out to the audience. But before that, the word and anything else was limiting our thoughts. Okay, how many people will we serve? Was the larger thought process,
Okay. Hmm.
and says that we are building an organization. We are not thinking that okay it will work in a specific geography. We always thought that, let's keep the canvas as vast as possible, and let's reach out to every household. One of the original thought, uh, I was having this conversation with Dr. Rao, who is the founder of Sri Chaitanya Group. uh, he said two things to me in my multiple interactions, I remember. One was that, there's a process of teaching and learning in Sri Chaitanya.
Hmm.
We can only address in the physical environment. With this digital learning, can you take this to every household and build the values of outcome based learning? Because by then, digital was all about accessibility and affordability.
Hmm.
Outcomes were not getting discussed. And the beauty of having a digital world is that in 2021 we spoke about this, that outcome based learning will actually rule the overall system. Today I see a lot of people talk about this, so feel happy. So one, he said that, can you take that learning pedagogy to every household? And every household was not definitive. So it became that infinite.
Hmm.
I think that's where. And then one of the content person, while we were doing this naming game selection thing, she came saying that if you want to reach out to every household, and because that's the vision of the organization, so then why not infinite, and why to limit that? And that's how Infinity Learn word came in.
Sure. So outcome based learning, and I think you also use the motto "Baccha Seekhega Ya Nahi,"
Hmm.
right?
बच्चा सीखा कि नहीं?
बच्चा सीखा कि नहीं,
हाँ.
right? So that's the outcome. So is सीखना the outcome, or is say admission the outcome? I think somewhere it may be conflicting also, because the parents may be looking at outcome as getting into a top tier college, right? But सीखना is not necessarily, it doesn't, I mean, सीखना is not equal into getting into the top tier college, right? So
Yeah. So at various age brackets, various outcomes is required.
uh-huh.
So yeah, 12th grader who is giving the examination, for him outcome is that okay, जो भी मैंने कुछ lifetime में सीखा
सीखा
है,
है, हाँ.
can I culminate that to a result? Yeah. But when I'm teaching science and maths to a 6th grader, 7th grader, 8th grader, what the intent of doing this line, saying this line, was that as an organization, when you say I'm outcomes oriented organization, you want to bring ownership on yourself, to say that my job is not to teach, my job is to make the child learn. And until as we take that ownership, it's very easy to say कि बच्चा कमजोर है इसलिए नहीं सीखा, वो पढ़ता नहीं है इसलिए नहीं सीखा, वो समय नहीं लगाता इसलिए नहीं सीखा. Yeah. And these are all maybe may have various contours to this, but somebody has to own it.
True.
And we said, why not we own it? To say that अगर बच्चा नहीं सीखा, then we are responsible. Because अगर मैं किसी को पढ़ा रहा हूँ, anything which I am teaching, training somebody, and by wishing away saying that he is weak, he can't understand, I'm basically shirking for my own responsibility.
True.
So the whole objective was that, can we be responsible? Outcomes in results is a big outcome, but when the parent is looking at grade 9th, 10th, he is not saying that, okay, IIT Mumbai computer science is the only thing left in the world.
True.
He is thinking that, how can he do better in 9th grade? How can he do better in 10th grade? Yes, 12th grade engineering or medical exam is our dream also. And that's why we make a promise that, okay, let's look at premium engineering college and not look at one college or one segment. Premium engineering college is up to 30,000 seats. You get a decent job at the end of the 4 years plan. And that equations are also changing now. But I think that's where the acme of outcomes you can consider.
Hmm. Hmm.
uh, Otherwise, every single exam, if the child is doing better, and I understand, I learn, I enjoy that process of saying that, okay, I learned this.
Hmm.
And I keep talking about this. A lot of people say learning is fun. I say I'm absolutely against that line.
That's right.
Learning is not fun.
Hmm.
And imagine anything which you are learning, the process of learning is one of the most difficult things, because there's a change. Yeah. Because just somebody else is swimming, by seeing that we don't learn swimming. You are actually have to go to the water and really try hard. It's very process of change. But once you have learned something, then the fun starts. The fun does not start when you're starting to learn. The fun starts when you have learned something, and then you can swim 2 laps without, and you can breathe during these 2 laps, or you can cycle for 100 meters without falling down. Anything, anything which we learn in real life. And exactly the same thing when you're doing the math problem, when you're doing that question and you're unable to do it, and you have to refer back to the answer sheet, is not fun, because then my confidence goes down. But once I learned it, and now I'm doing first question, I could do it, second question right, third question right, see the joy in the child's eye.
True.
So that, I think that's the process of learning which we like to inculcate in our learners, and say, don't imagine that first time everything will be right. But I am that person who will be holding you in this journey. So if you look at anything which we learn, like swimming, cycling kind, there's somebody along with us
True.
always.
Hmm.
So in this process of learning that math question, can I be the person who is along with the learner? That's
Absolutely.
where that philosophy of Baccha Seekha Ki Nahi comes
Hmm.
from.
Hmm. Very interesting. Or what I have also learned is that the how to learn is probably more important than the learning itself. The process of learning.
True.
I
Very
think
true.
as teachers, as parents, it's a responsibility to teach the kids. What is the process of learning, and without measuring in the early age. I think as soon as we start measuring, I mean, kids become conscious and they are learning only to pass the measurement, right? And
True.
if we just take it off or do a subtle measurement, I think then probably the real learning comes, right? So,
Absolutely.
hmm,
With you.
yeah,
Process of learning is
process of learning. Yeah. Also, is it, and it's my observation, but maybe you can share your experience. Is it? I mean, so there is, depending upon the economic class you belong to, right? The outcome may be little different as well, right?
Yeah,
Because
correct.
if it's aspirational middle class, the outcome, eventual outcome, parents are looking at that my son or daughter goes to a top tier, say IIT or medical college, right? But if it's an affluent middle class or rich class, right, that may not be
That
so
important.
there the probably the focus is more on letting the child
Explore.
explore and figure out what he or she wants, and align the college with that. Have you also observed that?
Always. And that's how the societies have evolved over millions of years.
Hmm.
I think everybody has a different starting line.
Hmm.
And basis on my starting line, I choose the uh, race. Yeah. Now, somebody who come from a lower middle class, the aspirations are extremely high. So I'm ready to put in far more effort. So there, the effort is the fuel, and I'm putting far more effort to reach that destination.
Hmm.
Somebody who comes from a fairly affluent class, resources is the fuel. So he's not worried about an engineering college seat. He's saying, where am I sitting here? I have a worldview which is very different.
Hmm.
Yeah. And from that worldview, I have to see how best can I make the best for myself. And that's why the aspiration levels are very, very different, and very, very, it's called, you can say that they're like separate, you can say, segments in
Hmm.
the society, and where you are standing, how much can you see the world. So somebody who is in Bay Area today, his view on finance and technology is very different than somebody who is in Bangalore or somebody who is in Balia. So I think the worlds are very, very different in different places within the society. And then your present situation, who you are, what's your aspiration, how much you want to do better for yourself. A lot of people today who are in low middle class, when they look at their parents, they want their life to be better.
True.
They
True.
are
True.
not worried about that how and what happens to them. They're saying, I want to help my dad, I want to help my mom. मैं चाहता हूँ कि वो इतना अच्छा करे मेरे वजह से.
True.
Vis-a-vis and very affluent class, that father is thinking that how can make my child much better, and there are different perspectives at different level. But मुझे ऐसा लगता है that aspiration levels uh, is almost similar in all classes, only that journeys are different.
Yeah, like you rightly said, the race, the starting point is different.
Starting point is different
I
for
think.
most of the
बिल्कुल.
people. मैंने long back, I think 7-10 साल पहले I said this, that no child wants to learn what we want to teach them, but all of them want to learn. ऐसा नहीं कि कोई बच्चा एक and sorry about the 5% or 2% aberration, but wherever anybody is, उसको कुछ तो करना अच्छा लगता है,
बिल्कुल.
कुछ तो सीखना अच्छा लगता है.
True.
हाँ, हो सकता है कि हम जैसे उसको पढ़ा रहे हैं
हाँ, हाँ.
वो बेस्ट ना लगे उसको.
Correct. 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 So you mentioned Balia reminds me of my hometown in the eastern UP. So I think you've like your
Yeah,
family runs a school also, right?
true.
तो थोड़ा उसके बारे में बताएंगे, मतलब क्या है कैसे?
तो करीब 20 साल हो गए.
हम्म.
When my father retired and he said गांव जाते हैं, and he never made a house. We traveled in our childhood to 8-10 cities. He was in pharmaceuticals, but he said, no, I would like to go back to my village, and uh, we have decent land there. So he said, okay, let's start a school there. And so it was one room school. Today it's far big. 2023 we lost him.
Oh, sorry about that.
But Prashant, this is I can't imagine. Uh, my father's body is on my shoulder. We are going towards the cremation place, and because Balia, the Ganga Nadi is next. So from my house, almost a kilometer, there's a Ganga Nadi, and we're going. And then I gave it to my brother. There are 3 more people who are carrying it, and there are a lot of people walking. This guy who comes next to me and says, "School chalega."
My goodness.
And I said, "Bata do." And then we go there. We are all waiting, and the formalities are happening. At least 7 to 10 people came to me and asked me the same question. So I was very upset that how can you be so ruthless? So the next day morning, all of us are there, and I was telling this to my mom, and my mom was saying, yeah, some more people have asked me the same question. Then me and my brother went for a reflection round, saying, why are these people asking this question? We may not be able to answer that question at that moment because we are in a different frame of mind. But over next few months, I realized what was the question about. In my village, we run a school which almost like 250 rupees average fees for the child. And there's a government school, and then there are other schools which are little, say 6, 7, 8 kilometers, and they charge 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 rupees fees. Now this guy who's a driver, I met actually a guy who's a driver in state bus corporation in UP. His salary is 12,000 rupees. He has 2 daughters. They study in the school. He's saying, see, up to the time you are asking me to pay 500 out of my 12,000 rupees, I can afford it. Otherwise, if I have to pay 2,400 rupees in this other school, I will not be. So I have to send him to government school. And his dilemma is that because my father was running the school, his dilemma is that will this school run? Who will run the school? How will these guys come here? Do what? And it's almost 3 years now. But I think that time I felt bad. But when you go deep inside that question, you realize that there's an ecosystem of a society getting formed, saying that at 250 rupees per month, my child is getting a good education. If because of some reason the school shuts down, that good education is vanished, and
Hmm.
I have to go back to my government school. I think that's the critical difference which I could not understand, because for that father, he's sad about my father's going, but he's more concerned about his children's education tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And after that, so many people came and say, Ujjwal, this is a very good school. The first thing you should do is to increase fees. And says, this is what my dad told not to do. Says, because that farmer's kid, sometimes we get fees, that 250 rupees fees after 4 months.
Hmm.
Because you understand, the farmer has to go through that
Yeah, that
whole
cycle, harvest
agriculture
cycle. Yeah.
harvest cycle.
Hmm.
When he sells something in the market, he comes back and say last 4 months money at one go. If we stop that, and there are a lot of people who go from the city, for them to understand that cycle is very difficult. I think I'm very passionate about that, and my and so for me it's like a weekly thing, monthly thing, to whether invest money to ensure we get good teacher, to ensure we are giving them good resources, sometimes buying a smart board, sometimes buying a computer. So we're continuously trying to uplift. Recently we were trying uh, a good math and science teacher on online, because we have put some smart boards
Hmm.
online teaching, so students who are multi-grade, saying 6th 7th 8th, anybody who wants to learn can come. And after 3 o'clock, almost 50 students come every day. It's an online class. So I think there's an inherent desire to do better. The resources are less, and the more we do something on a optional basis, that if you want to learn, come. I think children are much more interested, rather than forcing that no, you have to sit in this class.
Absolutely.
So that's where the school is. We are making it better every day.
That's very touching, and I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I think I truly, I'm inspired.
Thank you.
And if I can help in any way, I think we're more than happy to.
Love to. If you're going that side, just let
Yeah,
me know. I'll ask you to visit there once.
sure. And yeah, I mean, if you go to hinterland of the country, you realize that there is still, there's still
So much to be done.
so much to be done, so much to be done. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. All right, coming to Infinity Land. So, how are the results this year?
So I think on online we produce one of the best results.
Hmm.
Year after year. One of the interesting case studies this year, JEE Advanced, the girl student,
Mm-hmm.
number one, and this is on record.
Mm-hmm.
She says that I have not done coaching anywhere. I have just used Infinity Learn by Sri Chaitanya's
Oh,
material.
fantastic! That's a great story.
Yeah. So one of our teachers, and this she's up to 10th grade. She was, I think, near Calcutta. She was doing some coaching, but one of our teachers went to their place.
Mm-hmm.
This place is almost 60 kilometers outside of Calcutta. Bare electricity.
Mm-hmm.
So mother explained the whole thing. This is on the YouTube available. Amazing story. I think the way we have started touching some of the learners,
Mm-hmm.
those who are deprived of great resources, or those who are having great resources available and using it for their best benefits. Both the cases are there. It's not that we are only on tier 3, tier 4, but we are also within Bangalore. We are serving set of learners,
Mm-hmm.
and they're very happy. Just so I must tell you, yesterday was IOQM test.
Maths Olympiad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maths Olympiad. So there were almost 200 odd learners who are online studying with us for that test, and we are very hopeful that 45 to 50 of them will qualify for the next round. So like 25%, and they are all online students. I'm talking, not they have not done a single offline class.
Mm-hmm.
The the erstwhile benefits of an online learning continues to come and surprise us, that a good teacher is available to somebody who is really desirous for a good teaching. Uh, so as InfiniLearn, I can tell you hundreds of stories like this, but one of the best years for us as online results are concerned, our centers are very new. We have got few success stories like Varanasi number one came from our center, Patna in the category number one came from our center. So I think there are bursts of success happening in centers also, but I foresee our parent is such a large r- result
Huh.
system that our results usually is very meager in front of them. But when I compare ourselves vis-a-vis companies which started alongside us, a little old or little new, I think we are producing very good results, and we are giving the best. The promise to the learner was outcome and continues to be our main forte.
Fantastic, fantastic. And I think you touched upon online and offline, and I think again and again in different industries we just see this cycle of companies being very bullish on technology and I mean trying to innovate largely on the virtual or online side, right? It happened in the case of e-commerce, it happened in case of education. I think we are now realizing that a hybrid model is probably the best one. I
Best one.
mean, for different companies, different percentage of offline may be relevant, but largely hybrid. Same thing probably may be happening with when the AI hype cycle settles, right? I mean, there is a lot of use cases of AI, but do you foresee a world where the teachers will be largely virtual teachers, not even the online version of the offline teacher, but largely AI agents teaching the students, or you see a fine balance between the virtual ones, the agentic teachers, if I can say, right,
Hmm.
and the real ones.
Yeah, I'm sitting here and I'm not saying I'm the guru on AI, but how much we see,
Hmm.
I don't think replacement is happening in next 3, 4, 5 years.
Mhm.
Nobody knows. The industry has changed itself multiple times, uh, but a lot of things are happening, and I will say small automations,
Hmm.
which will which will change the mundane task of a human.
Hmm.
I think the summative assessments is where the AI is going to come first, and the amount of efforts which teachers are doing, can we reduce that task first? And that's how human and technology will come together to start with. Uh, Education as a field needs a lot more automation. If you are not saying the most high-end AI technology, while AI, from a learner point of view, they will use it the way they want to use it.
Mhm.
But from a teacher point of view, I don't think tomorrow morning there's a situation where all the teachers are redundant and only AI is teaching. I don't think that's happening in next 5 years' time. But what's happening is that AI first will become teacher's friend, and they'll first start taking load on a lot of things and say, why don't you do a high quality teaching while I do a lot of mundane work? You remember a lot of us when we started online learning, we said two teacher model.
Hmm. Yeah.
In that, the second teacher was an assistant who was solving, giving a poll or solving some doubts. I think all of those things will first get automated, and the agents will be slowly and gradually taking over and doing some of that while the teacher is teaching. After 5 years, I think the high quality teaching will always remain, but low quality teaching will slowly and gradually will go to technology. That's what happening in whether you take engineering today. So low quality codes are getting written by maybe AI. A lot of low quality work. So is uh, that is getting slowly and gradually taken over by AI. So it's mundane, and anything which is mundane. So if somebody knows that okay, a robot can pick up a box and place it here, so B1 to C2. Now B1 to C2, if this is mundane and human intelligence is not required, then slowly and gradually robots with the help of AI can do that. I think that's how I foresee it. I'm not seeing that tomorrow morning the teachers are vanishing. They're very much there.
So is it fair to say that the best outcome of AI or the usefulness of AI would be as a companion assistant, right? For to do intelligent automation, for the human. not really being the master, right? I mean, human is always going to be master.
Human will always be the
But do you
master.
fear, I mean, with artificial general intelligence, I mean, and we were chatting right before this. Uh,
I I don't fear. Very frankly, I don't fear. I've been meeting and talking and listening to a lot of people of
hmm,
late in India and abroad. I think humans have adjusted to new things every time.
hmm,
Uh, I started my career in 1998. It was a peak of computerization, banking, and I remember a lot of conversation will happen in households that computers will come and human beings will get irrelevant. I think the euphoria around AI to say that oh humans don't have to do anything is not there
hmm,
because I was listening to this podcast and I thought it was a very good analysis saying that how much of this disruption can happen. How many of us are on actually on internet world? Yeah, if 8 billion people are there, give and take a billion people are on among all the
hmm,
things. Now, if you say how much can if everybody of us get disrupted, that's 1/8. What is that meaning to economic value for the for the
hmm.
country or for the world? Maybe 5%, 8%, 10%, 12% is a disruption because the internet economy is not the only economy in the world. And if you're not on internet, AI helping you is very difficult.
True.
So I think some of us, because we are living in around this world where internet is fully expanded itself, we think a little too much. The guy who is on the road, he's happy. He is not thinking that tomorrow morning an auto or a cab is driven by AI. He says minimum 10 years down the line that might happen. Then by then something new will come. So as so forth, I think a lot of manufacturing and other kinds of industries that will continue to have. Agriculture will be last to maybe get disrupted. But again, I said I'm not an AI guru per se, but we are using AI for helping the learner
Mhm.
to learn better and teacher to teach better. And every time a new technology will come, we'll continue to do that.
Hmm, mhm. The the biggest fear I have is with more and more technology being as part of school and out of school institutions, the kids start believing that say Google or an AI search engine, right, or a GPT, that's the source of truth always, right?
Mm.
And I think that is that may not be the best because if you start believing everything is being what is being told to you over internet or videos or GPT, then you are getting influenced, right? And it's very easy to influence
The youth.
young minds, right? So I think uh, the more we can train young ones to question, right, not believing everything but always questioning, the better it will be for future. I think that's the I mean that fear I have. Otherwise I think I also believe that AGI, there is a hype, but I mean we'll always be masters. Mm.
And that fear, I think, as a society, we always had.
Hmm.
Every time there's an innovation coming in,
Correct.
there's society which will always have that fear, whether it is, uh, you know, whether fire or gun or internet. Every time that fear had come.
Hmm.
What I like most about this whole AI thing is that it decentralizes the intelligence. uh, and sometimes to have a very intelligent conversation
Yeah,
about things which was never in our ecosystem. uh, and if you are even 1% interested to know the evolution of earth, the Rig Vedas, or the correlation between Vedas and our Puranas, I don't think in it was so easy earlier.
absolutely agree with you. And
Now, it is the human being end of the day. How do you want to use the technology for the benefit of what you want to go through, what you want to learn? Uh, Vis-a-vis, when I see young children, their first excitement was that oh, I can answer now easily. But they soon realized that no, the teacher can catch me, cheating as well so soon. They had not thought that it will take so fast, but most of the places who allow chat gpt or any other llm, they said okay fine, I also have a tool to see that how much are you writing from there. If it is 30%, I'll allow you, but if it is 90%, I'll not allow you. uh, how do I use, and society will keep requesting for guardrails and guardrails to say that can this be, if not right, not wrong, saying that I don't know, but don't teach them wrong. I think that's, but as technology will come, the perils will come along with the goods. That's the nature of the
True,
beast.
true, true. And I think for curious mind,
Yeah,
somebody who's always trying to learn and find different ways, I think it's a great
it's
tool.
a good tool.
I mean, I have, for some mathematical problems, I have gone to GPT and asked to prove it in a different way, using a different area of mathematics, and you get the answers,
Get the
right? So,
answer.
and you try to appreciate. I mean,
True.
so something in calculus, you try to relate with geometry, or algebra. I think, and that's
It
the
has
beauty.
it has the ability to
Yeah,
correlate.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So, JE and NEET, right? These have been, say, national obsession, if I may say. I
Yeah.
mean, I myself appeared in JE in 1995, and this is 30 years, from now, and I think competition has been increasing only. I think,
Year after year.
I think level of difficulty is also increasing, given that number of people who appear, and you have to select only few. So you see this like remaining similar, the kind of obsession in next 10-15 years? Any shift in societal mindset happening? Any observations on that?
Yeah, only thing is that the aspiration level have gone from maybe tier 1 has to gone to tier 2.
Yeah.
Is still to go to tier 3, still to go to tier 4.
Hmm.
Because I think at least till you expect everybody above poverty line, this obsession is not going to go down. Reason being, today who is getting a job? The problem statement is somewhere else. We are thinking this is just a cause. Who is getting job? Usually, an engineering graduate has more chances to get a non-engineering job
True.
than a non-engineering student until unless he is very good, somebody in economics. And there are some fields. I'm not saying that there are no fields. But I have a much more deeper worry that this anti-engineering medical thought process. Let me tell you why. What is engineers supposed to do? They're supposed to do problem solving. Where is this problem solving coming from? They're coming from two larger areas, science and math. Yeah. So math, the genesis of math as a subject is to teach logical, being more reasoning oriented people. And science was inquisitiveness, inquiry skills.
Yeah.
Now, deep inside, whatever subject you learn, but deep inside, they're trying to do this at a foundational level, math and science. Whether you want to become a chef, or you want to become an economist, or a data oriented guy, or an entrepreneur who's building a solution, end of the day, you have to be logical and you have to be inquisitive. So English came from communication and so on and so forth. That's, I think, the inherent uh, desire to teach children that was the genesis for the whole triangular thing: communication, inquisitiveness skills, and logical reasoning. I think let's not forget that. And if there's something else in last 100 years have come, is coding for again logical reasoning.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If we take that as a genesis, we are not doing anything wrong. And other skills are equally important. Somebody who wants to get into art and theater and craft or economics, and economics needs far more math than a lot of mathematical subjects. You need advanced calculus to want to do a good economist job. So I think if the larger society is saying, can you be logical reasoning, can you remain inquisitive, can you have a good communication skills, that's I see it like that. whether you're talking it format of NEET or JEE. Until the time these are the ways to reach there, there is no harm. If there's anything comes tomorrow which can help human being to be far more logical, far more inquisitive, I think we will do that by default.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think that's a very deep observation, and I would say, like you were saying earlier, engineering is the best generic program,
Yeah,
right? That can prepare you for any stream in future.
any stream.
Yeah, whether you want to go to management, business, science, arts, even arts,
Yeah,
economics, you can choose any stream.
true.
It lays the foundation for that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was also talking to somebody a few weeks back that maybe we should make mathematics and science compulsory up to 12th, right? I mean, so that everybody gets a basic flavor of that, because it applies. I mean, some of the greatest artists in the history, right? I mean, they have
Yeah.
been great mathematicians, right?
Great mathematicians,
Yeah.
because they understood the
Yeah.
art in exact that manner.
Absolutely. So how does this thinking, the maturity goes into the preparation of curriculum for Infinity Land? I mean, when you prepare students for JEE and NEET.
So the focus is to build foundation, and that's what we have seen in various parts to say that if you're getting a student on 8th, 9th, 10th, you help them prepare better. If you're getting a student in 12th grade, you can only do that much input. 11th, 12th is also good, but average plus plus. Because how much time are you creating that input? And for that, when you get student in foundation, 8th, 9th, 10th, it's far, far more impactful. Because then your building blocks are right. And then you're trying to say that, okay, whether you choose to go after 10th medical or engineering, you can choose that time also, because a lot of students do PCMB, and then at that point of time you decide where do you want to go. But I have given you foundation, and that's how the curriculum is structured around it, to say that give foundation to the learner so that he can choose a career of his own choice. Even if he chooses not engineering medical, he wants to go to NDA or anything else, he can still have a foundation built, because you have given him the ability to think. Also, learnability is a very important thing. Can I learn new things? And how do you inculcate and challenge them to learn new things at various points in time?
So, what's the mix of online and offline in Infinity Land? I mean, what percentage of businesses?
Business?
Yeah.
No, business offline is very small. It's
Okay.
20% now.
Okay.
Because we just started
Okay.
last
You
year.
have 50 centers, right?
50 centers, yeah. So we just started. But I think in next 2 years' time, there will be 50-50%.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. And that's a healthy mix.
That's a very healthy mix, and we wanted it like that. So that's why we are taking doubling our investment in the offline business, and because we want to make it hybrid. Online is embedded for all the learners, but the delivery has 80% physical delivery, and that's why we think that that business is doing very well for us. We are now trying to consolidate, make it perfect, and then next year to again go for a growth. But I think the business has all early signs, all metrics says we are doing good.
I see. Okay. And you'll be focused. So I think JEE and NEET are main,
True.
entrance exams, and largely focused on the engineering and science education.
Science education.
Okay.
Yeah, math and science, we think is something which is our core forte. Will remain there. Aggregate that to either engineering or medical examination, whether it is online, whether it is offline. That's the segment which you have chosen, and we haven't purposefully diverged ourselves to any other segment, because we think we understand that very well. We also have a competitive advantage against a lot of our competition because of our parent company, which brings a lot of credibility there. So I think that's how we foresee that.
I see. And do students of Infinity Learn get a chance to go to, say, a center of Sri Chaitanya or vice versa, that also happens, or these are large distinct?
No,
Uh,
largely, but
hmm,
the weekend exams, all the students
okay,
across Sri Chaitanya, Infinity Learn, our
okay,
centers, all of them give the weekend exam together, and their ranking
I
comes.
see.
So you have a good mix of online centers and the students who are studying in Sri Chaitanya. They come together, and that is a decent enough, you can say, predictability to say that how the child will do.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's a largely the Chaitanya is an integrated model
ecosystem,
and ecosystem, and yours is a non-integrated, independent
non-integrated. Yeah,
ecosystem. I see.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Hmm. So how do you see the education edtech, ecosystem in India evolving? I think there are a few companies, which are aspiring to become public. Physics Wala has filed the IPO, right? And
True,
I think
true.
there may be a few more. So I think you yourself may want to do an IPO if
Given chance.
okay.
I definitely think we have gone through a little bad patch. But in all of this, one thing is very sure: the
Hmm.
learners have moved digital.
Hmm.
Whosoever can provide better services to learner will not only survive, they thrive in this environment. Uh, there are two kinds of organizations which are growing in the market. So affordability and accessibility was in the early 2000,
Mhm.
but now if you see, engagement and outcomes are the two parameters on which you have to. So when the learner is coming, how engaged they are in the learning process, and then what is the outcomes which we foresee. But and this is the transformative phase for the industry as well,
Mhm.
because uh, everybody is seeing that, okay, how do we understand the learner better and provide the best. And there are a lot of good companies working in different areas. uh, Definitely Physics Wala is going for the IPO. They filed it, so best wishes for them. We all want them to succeed, because uh, this is not a situation where everybody is competing with everybody. This is a situation which is far more collaborative, that if one business starts doing good, there are many more companies which can start doing good in the same environment. I think when we see it every day, we largely focus around learners.
Hmm.
My day does not start uh, with anybody else to say that if we have got even 50,000 learners, how am I serving them? Are they happy with me or not? Because end of the day, that's the most critical thing. Uh, Plus, us versus most of the other businesses, we are still a non-funded business still.
Hmm.
So we're largely running this business on our own resources. Our growth trajectory is very different vis-a-vis others, and our aspirations of growth is also very different, because whatever profits Infinity Run generates reinvests in a segment. So last year we said that, okay, we'll invest in our offline centers, and then we'll make them grow. Vis-a-vis somebody else, if it's funded, can say I will start 100 centers, 500 centers. We may not be able to do that. We'll make them profitable and then say, can we go from 50 to 100? But I think the critical piece in all of this is your learner happy?
Hmm.
If a learner is happy, uh, business will be built. Uh, you have to just keep the right ethos. You don't have to burn the money and waste the money. Business will be built. It might take longer, shorter, is not important, because each of us are on our own race. We are not in a common race where all the edtechs are together. Now, somebody who is into bank PO and government exams is his own race, and within that segment, there could be 3, 4, 5 companies. Somebody's
Absolutely. Yeah.
funded, not funded. So, I foresee market is coming back slowly and gradually. Online education is not under challenge. Online education is very much accepted in the society. Parents believe in it. Hybrid is much better, uh, and that's how I foresee it.
I see. So something that I was discussing with another founder. I mean, we have very strong companies in India, like you and many others. Um, but not many companies. I'm unable to recall any name which has been kind of successful outside India. Is it deliberate because the market is so big that first, I mean, you really cannot really focus on bigger market. I mean, there is enough business to be built here because science and maths, it's universal, right?
It's universal.
The entrance exams are different, right? I mean, so I mean, like India is very competitive, South Korea is very competitive, China is very competitive, right? But our brands have not gone to these countries. I mean, there may be a cultural difference and all the local language. I mean, you may have to hire local teachers, but content-wise and I think it's a universal business. So, any thoughts on that?
Uh, very frankly, we have never tried even.
I mean, I'm
We
assuming it's a big enough market that
big
you
enough
don't. Yeah.
market for us to say, can we focus? People come to us saying that IAS शुरू कर लेते हैं,
हाँ, यहाँ
ये
पे
कर
इतना कुछ
लेते हैं,
करने को एक्चुअली।
यहाँ पे इतना कुछ करने
हाँ।
को, and we are saying पहले मैं इतना successful हो जाऊँ यहाँ पे कि market is fairly captured, then we'll think about anything else. But your point is very valid that if you're doing math and science, heart and heart, then is there a reason for us to only remain within the boundaries? No, I think it is just the opportunity, and also every market comes with a lot of different kind of nuances. Uh, Again, we'll have to go and hire talent and go through that whole journey, because the learning of that market will be very much for that market. If you realize otherwise, there's no Chinese company, no Southeast companies have come and done very good education in India.
Correct.
So education is very fragmented. It's more countrywide. Within the country, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka might behave differently as a state from education point of view. Learners have different kind of choices, dialect, lingo, language issues. So I think for any company to say that you really need a war chest
बिल्कुल।
of that size to say tomorrow
हाँ।
morning I'll enter a new country and
हाँ,
go there.
schools और colleges थोड़े पहुंच गए हैं. If you look at the schools which have presence in say Dubai and Singapore, I mean that's
And
largely catering.
international schools have also come
Also,
from Europe, UK, Harrows have started.
correct.
So
But education which is not linked to or linked to entrance exam, it has not reached. I mean, of course, the nuances of each country.
yeah.
I see. I see. Yeah, so I have some rapid fire questions for you.
Okay.
All right, you can sip your tea before I fire the questions. So, if you are not in EdTech, what would you be doing?
Teaching.
Oh,
I'll be a teacher.
okay, yeah. And teaching math, science, I'm assuming.
Math, science.
So, do you have a choice between math and science if you would choose?
Not much, but maybe math.
And in science, I mean, you teach everything or any particular area you
I'll
love?
prefer physics over chemistry.
Okay, I see. Mine is chemistry favorite. A lesson you learned from students that stayed with you?
I think again you own them, they are yours. बच्चा सीखा कि नहीं comes from there. So वो कि आप उसकी responsibility ले.
अच्छा.
Because बच्चों को अच्छा लगता है कि कोई उनको हाथ पकड़ के सिखाए.
I see. One app or tool you can't live without. You don't name to LeadSquared. You can take any name. Yeah.
I use that every day, but I think I'm fascinated with Gemini voice actually. So I do a lot of interactions with Gemini.
Oh, really?
Nowadays.
Okay, I see. And this would be in context of some research.
Conversation on different kinds and queries and second level. So yeah, if I'm to do prompt engineering, then I'll go to ChatGPT and try it. But I think on conversations, I really enjoy Gemini.
I see. Your favorite failure, something that went wrong but taught you a lot?
I don't know whether I should name it or not, but very early stage in Infinity Learn, somebody reached out and said there's a India-Pakistan cricket match, and there's a digital advertisement on that, and we agreed on that, and that amount was tune of 40-50 lakh rupees. We said, oh wow, and it was second year of operations.
Mm.
We advertised. None of us saw our one single impression on that ad. None of us. So we said, I thought they have made a mistake.
Mm.
So next day morning, we reached out and said, hey, you didn't advertise. He said, no, no, we advertised. You did not see it. And the first time the calculation they said that, say 70 crore people watching
Mm.
every over, every minute, and some calculation. They gave us some 5 crore, but that number was not even 0.01% of the total advertisement will come. We never calculated that. One of the biggest mistake, and I learned a lot saying that next time before falling for a trap like on a digital advertisement, we need to be really, really sure what are we advertising.
I see. And if you could build your dream edtech product today with without money constraint, right? What would it be?
Very near to what we are building,
Mm-hmm.
very near to. But I think the the problem which we are very much sorted is outcomes. I think the engagement remains a big challenge when we sit among ourselves and say, for what will the learner like to spend more time and learn, not just time for fun. So like if I put a game, learner might spend 20 minutes more, but spend more time and learn is a big question which I think in our boardrooms we are always concerned about.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you so much, Ujjwal, and
no,
wish you all the best. And I think may your success reach to infinity.
thank you,
And
thank you.
we would always want to remain your partner. And yeah, all the best. Thank you.
But I just want to finish this with one more line that this is our fourth year, and all 4 years we are with LeadSquare. And Prashant, you've been a great partner and a great support. I generally don't reach out to him, but when I reach out to you, you usually help us in whatever way we have reached out to you. So thank you
Thank you.
for
Thank you,
being
Ujjwal.
that partner.